Hi, dear students. So now we are going to do question number 6, paper 1-1, past paper, May June 2021. So in this question, what are they saying? Remember, you have to understand the question in order to answer the question properly. Understanding the question is half of the answer. Which items would be recorded in the general journal of a bakery? Okay, remember, whenever you are reading a question, make sure to understand what is the nature of business because that is relevant. Because the question can be depending on the nature of business because the inventory may not be inventory for all type of business. So it's a bakery which sells buns and breads and so on. So it's a bakery, and they're saying which items would be recorded in the general journal. General journal is one of the books of prime entry. If you remember, one of the books of prime entry. So there are 7 books of prime entry. One of the books of prime entry is general journal. So they're saying out of these four, which items would go in the general journal? And the options give us some of the numbers, which is either 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, or 3 and 4. Okay, the trick is normally a common answer would be correct, but here there's 1 and 2, and then there's 1 and 3, so there's two ones, but then there's no one in the C and D. That means it's nothing common, and 4 is also in C and D only and not in all four. So we have to read carefully all these points and determine which of these would go in the general journal. So just let me list down all the 7 books of prime entry first quickly, just to recap. There's a sales journal which all credit sales goes into. There is sales returns journal. Then there is, I'll just write the sales return. There's purchases journal. Then there's purchases returns journal. Then there is cash book. Then there's petty cash book. And then finally, there is general journal, or we can say just journal. Technically, I call general journal as a refugee camp. Why refugee camp? Because any transaction which cannot fit in any of the above six books of prime entry, then we will record it automatically in the general journal. Sales journal records all credit sales only, no cash sales, only credit sales. Sales returns journal records only credit sales returns. Purchases journal records credit purchases, purchases returns, credit purchases returns will be recorded here. Cash book will be all cash transactions such as cash sales and cash purchases. Also, anything related to bank or cash will be in cash book. Petty cash book will be any cash amount which is below the threshold, let's say less than $100 or so, and the rest of the entries will go in the general journal. So technically it's a very wide range of entries that goes into general journal. So anything that cannot fit here in the other 6 journals will go in the general journal, which normally can be errors, adjustments, year end closing entries, and so on. So correction of error, the first thing is correction of an error of principle. So remember, error will definitely not go in any of the journals except for the last, that is general journal. So this will go for sure. Next, purchase of a delivery vehicle on credit. On credit means you bought something on and promised to pay later, but this is not a purchases because this is a delivery vehicle. This is a delivery vehicle which is for a bakery. Now, bakery does not buy a delivery vehicle for resale purpose. Hence, this delivery vehicle is not a purchase. It will not go in the purchase journal. So this is definitely not going to purchase. And you did not even pay by bank or cash. You bought it promising to pay later. That means it will also not go in the cash book either. That means this is definitely going in the general journal. It is not even a petty cash book because this, even though the amounts are not mentioned, but delivery vehicle in general is not as small as $100. So it is safe to say that it will go in the general journal. Now, purchase of flour on credit. Flour is an inventory item for bakery because bakery will buy flour for making its items which it will sell later on. So it will go in the purchase purchases journal, because it is a purchase. Now, next, that means it is not going to go in the general journal. Now, return by a customer of a faulty batch of bread. Returned by a customer. That means it was sold to a customer and now the customer is returning a faulty good, which is a bread. That means bread was sold to a customer. So, where should it go? It should go in the sales returns journal. So this will also not go in the general journal. So there are two entries that should go in the general journal, which is 1 and 2, and the option says A should be the right answer. So I hope you have understood this question. Even if you didn't understand all points, you must have understood something. And as always, something is better than nothing.